Okay, everybody, welcome back to ACL. Today we're going through and starting Chapter 6 of the ACL in Practice PDF. Chapter 6, they want to look at the purchases of their employees and see if they're purchasing anything that is in this, this unacceptable codes list. They want to make sure they're not purchasing anything they shouldn't be. So the first task they want us to do is check whether there's any acceptable codes and unacceptable codes that are the same code, essentially. So we just want to make sure that our data is again valid here. So yeah, check the code tables for obvious errors. So we're going to do that by making two primary keys for all you database nerds out there. And then we're going to join the tables together. So we'll start here. And we're going to go to Edit, Table Layout. We're going to add a new expression. And what do they want us to call this? Code sub unacceptable. No? Yeah? Yeah, code sub unacceptable. That works. And the right table? Yeah. Alright. Codes sub unacceptable. Alright. We're going to use the substring function. Substring gets a part of a string. They'll give you an index. They'll give you an index of, say, 1 through 4. And that will get the first of the string up into the fourth of the string. And we'll use our allTrim function as well. AllTrim. And we want the codes. Comma 1 through 4. Okay, cool. Okay. And there we go. And that's now in our table layout. So now we need to add it. Whoa, yeah, that's fine. Add columns. We need to add it to the actual table. So there we go. Okay. I guess it's there. And okay, so now I'm going to do the yes, I would like to save. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but with the acceptable code. So I'm going to skip ahead, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so again, I just did the exact same thing in the acceptable codes table, but I called it code sub acceptable. Alright, so now we're going to need to join these two tables together from this code we made in each table. So we're going to go to Data, Join Tables, and we have to open up a secondary table. So we'll select a secondary table. See, we're in the unacceptable codes. We want acceptable codes. Post-secondary, pre-sort, we want that. And we want the code sub unacceptable for the primary key, and the secondary key we want code sub acceptable. Acceptable? Accept? I don't know if that's spelled right. Okay. And let's grab actual code and a description so we know what it is. And go to more. Make sure matched primary records. Don't do anything with this other stuff. And we will send that to an output table here. We call it code. I got a name they want for this. Let's see, acceptable codes. Codes in both tables. That's a great name. So, codes in both tables. Okay. Oh wow, look, there's no codes that are in both tables. So then they want us to count this. Count the record. How many? There's 0. No duh. Alright, so what does that tell us? That tells us that our unacceptable codes are completely separate from our acceptable codes. So our data makes sense, and that's a good. Alright, now they want us to find out if there are any unacceptable codes that have been found when our employees are purchasing something. So we want to look in the trends April table and see if any of these codes match any of these unacceptable codes. Now, the problem with that is that if we go here to table layout and we look at codes, you'll see that they have a length of 7. And since we set up our unacceptable codes little key there to do 4, we're going to have to make another field, another expression the same way we did with the acceptable and the unacceptable codes to link those together. So I'm going to call this sub April codes. Very original name. And substring all trim. Yeah, I found you could just type this in much faster. Codes blurb comma 1 comma 4. Cool. Okay. And we're done with that. So we'll add that to the view. I like how these are all uppercase and this is just lowercase. It's beautiful. Alright, now we need to relate these two table fields so that we can add a column from unacceptable codes. Yes, I want to save the transactions. So we can add a column, this column here, and we want to be able to add that to transactions April so we can compare it to another column. So to do that, we need to go to data. We go to relate tables, and you can get rid of this dialog box if you want. It's just telling you stuff. And we're greeted with this nonsense. But this is our parent table in the relation of trans April. So we want to relate that to unacceptable codes. Move that over there. Make it so you can read it. And select that table. Click and drag over to code sub unacceptable to link them. And finish. Alright, so now we can add that row or that column to this table. So to do that, we go to add columns, and from table we want unacceptable codes. Codes, unacceptable codes. Okay. And that is over here. And there's a bunch of white space. So where are the codes? Well, don't worry, they're here. There's just not very many of them. Only the ones that match. So we can actually get rid of a lot of this nonsense we don't need. We can do quick filter and go not equal, and then we get all of the codes that are all the transactions that have unacceptable codes, meaning these are the transactions that our employees have made that they weren't supposed to. So we want that data. We want to keep track of that. So we're going to extract that to a record. We're going to call it well, they got a name they want us to give this. Let's see, is it codes in both tables? Nope. Alright, so we ended up naming that trans April unacceptable, and that saved to a new table, and we got this information here. But that's going to do it for this video, so I will see you all next time.